As you're biting your nails, I'm going to really give you some things to bite your nails about. Okay. They've been making Godzilla movies for 25 years. And all these Godzilla movies is about inside the earth, these giant monsters are asleep. And they're waking up and they're fighting each other. Okay. See, they're not coming from a different planet. They're not coming from another galaxy. They're inside the earth. But this was written about 6,000 years ago when they talked about how Cthulhu was captured in magic nets and he was put to sleep at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, at the bottom of the ocean. And he's this is talked about in Necronomicon. You could read it yourself. And he's asleep, dreaming dead dreams because the sky is poisonous to him now. But when the stars align, he will awake. He will awaken. But it's not only Cthulhu out there. There's a lot of these creatures which are buried inside the earth and they are asleep. Because I'm going to tell you something which you don't know. That's my job, to tell you everything you don't know. See, we think, when we took history in school, they talked about the dinosaurs and this and that and all the dinosaurs, what ruled this planet for millions and millions of years. And then they just went extinct. There was this giant comet. And dinosaurs was gone and then the mammals came. They didn't exactly tell you the truth. Okay. Remember, when the Anunnaki came, they was here with the old ones. The old ones had leather skin and clover feet. Until the old ones blasphemed against God and was destroyed. So that comet wasn't by accident. And they exterminated them from the surface of the earth and chased them into their underground caves. Okay. Now, this is why in the book of Genesis, it talks about how this thing that was talking to Eve, that is called a Nagash. And Nagash is not even a Jewish word. You got to go to the land of Nagash to find out what a Nagash is. And what is the land of Nagash? Oh, that's India. They worship Nagashes in India. Those are walking snakes. That's why they worship cobras. And if you go to India, China, Thailand, everywhere, you see these snakes with multi-heads that walk. Those are called Nagashes. And the Bible says that the snake was the smartest of all of God's creation. It didn't say man was the smartest of God's creation. These walking snakes was the smartest. This is the secret behind the movie Jurassic Park, is that these Viroraptors was not dumb. These Viroraptors had the same brain size we had. And Viroraptors had stereoscopic vision just like we have. And these Viroraptors were super smart. They probably had some kind of civilization. We don't know what kind. Okay. The earth is not... Mammals control this planet. I'm going to tell you a little secret. This is written in the Urantia book and written in several books that you should not be reading also. Is that mammals was first brought to this planet as pets. Okay. And then after the extinction of the old ones, they was brought here in extremely large numbers. This is why there is no fossil record of mammals up until the extinction of the dinosaurs. You can find dinosaur fossils millions of years old, and all of a sudden, these mammals just appeared from nowhere. Because this planet we live on is not a mammal world, it's a reptilian world. And these reptilian creatures, even though they was exterminated from the surface of our world, was never exterminated from the inside of our world. This is why they keep making movies about like Rain of Fire, where these giant eggs are found and then these dragons come out of the earth, or we do something and these giant reptiles come out of the earth, because these creatures are still here. Okay. And at every polar shift, they rise and they wake up. That's the reason they say the sky is poisonous to them until the stars align. And let me explain why the sky is poisonous. Because remember, when we have polar shifts, there's going to be a lot of earthquakes. Remember, all the Godzilla movies, before Godzilla and the other movies, the monsters appears, there's always a lot of earthquake activity. That is what wakes them up. Okay. And all this lava and all this sulfuric acid in the atmosphere and everything, that is what wakes them up. And in the new Godzilla movie, they tell the secret. When all the monsters wake up at one time, Godzilla has to fight them. And they say in the movie that this is not our world. This is Godzilla's world. We just live here. Boy, that statement really makes you feel good. Okay. Because this is a reptilian world. And unfortunately, after Polar Shift, that's why they keep making these movies about these giant creatures coming out of the earth. Now, what happened in the last Polar Shift is that our friends took care of those creatures. Okay. Because, we're not going into this subject. But there's friction in outer space between certain types of aliens. In outer space, see, on the earth we have friction between white people and black people and oriental people. We don't always get along. Well, in outer space, they don't have that problem. In outer space, they have a different problem, which you don't know about. In outer space, they got the reptilians and the humanoids and the insectoids. They don't always get along with each other. They like to fight. Okay.
Okay, here's a question. I don't know if you already answered this. In the past, the government has been so secretive. How about the people they found in an attic that are sleeping?
What you mean in an attic who are sleeping?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't understand what that means in an attic who are sleeping. They have found some people in Antarctica, which is still in a state of suspended animation from 10,000 years ago or whatever. Are you talking about them? Or are you talking about, we did another show about vampire napping. Are you talking about them? There's a lot of people that's doing things, but I don't understand about people in an attic who are sleeping. But the only people like us who take naps, vampire napping, they can go to sleep for 20 years, 50 years. Okay.
Antarctic.
Oh, in Antarctica, those people they're in suspended animation chambers. Okay. Now, why are they in the suspended animation chamber? Maybe maybe I don't know. I don't know. But remember, we talk about doing that today to people. Remember today, some people, if you got a disease, they say we can freeze you, and then 100, 200 years from now, we can wake you up when we have a thing for that disease. Was that lie told to people 10,000 years ago? Okay. I don't know. We have discovered these beings in suspended animation. Should we revive them? Should we wake them up? Okay, is that Pandora's box? If you take it out of the box, how do you put it back in the box? You ever tried to take a bicycle out of a box and put it back in the box? Okay. So, do we want to go there? The government's going to do it anyway, but you know what's going to happen. It's not going to have a happy ending. Okay, what other comment we have?
That's it.
Okay, so we have a lot of problems we have. Because this is the problem we have in our future. Okay. The problem we have is that the gods are returning. These creatures are going to wake up. Last time, they wanted to keep the earth under mammal control. And they took care of that problem. When these creatures start waking up, they have something called super weapons upstairs. And they took care of that problem. But the problem we have now is that the earth is not under, I hate to break the news to you, but the earth is not under humanoid control right now. We're under control of the constellation Draco. They're reptilians. They believe that they should just see what happens. And if the earth was meant to stay humanoid, we'll stay humanoid. If it's meant to convert back to reptilian, maybe it should convert back. Let's just see who wins. Remember, it's like in the movies, right? We get to fight the giant monsters, and if we win, we get to stay on the planet. And if we lose, oh well, I guess we can go to Earth too. You go, okay. But we don't have an Earth 2. Oh my gosh, that's kind of bad. Okay. So we have a lot of things we have in our future. So all these movies, they've been making Godzilla movies for 25 years, preparing us for the day that these things start waking up, because they know that these things are inside the earth. People have heard these strange noises inside the earth and these strange growlings all over the world. We don't know the day that these things will start rising. And that is what the Godzilla movies are all about. For some strange reason, for 25 years, these creatures start rising.
Someone said that it's been around since 1954.
Okay.
Yep.
So don't say they didn't warn you. So when that day comes and you say, we had no idea these things was down there, they're going to say, we've been making those movies for a very long time. We've been trying to warn you that these creatures are inside the earth, and we find their eggs every now and then. And, but we don't know the event that, I believe the event that will wake these creatures up is polar shift. Just like in the movies. There's always a lot of earthquake activity and a lot of craziness before this stuff come up. But, I don't know. But there are people who know. So we are being prepared for a lot of stuff. And this is the point of all the movies. The movies are made to prepare us. But the problem is, most of us are too ignorant and too dumb, and we just like to go there and see the monsters fight and say, oh, I wish Romola would win, or I like this monster over this monster. We don't understand what we're looking at. Okay. We don't understand. Okay. We don't understand when we look at the UFOs and say, oh, I wish one of those would just come down and just take me up in that thing with the... We have no idea what we're talking about. Okay. There's a lot of things going on that we don't understand. And it's time for us, we're running out of time. And it would be great if the government would go ahead and let us know what is going on. But the government is busy. Doing what? I don't have the slightest idea. Okay.
Hiding things from us?
Hiding things from... But they're running out of time. They need to inform the public, and we need to prepare. Because if we wait until these beings with power appear, what are the regular people with no power going to do? When we have people like the Hulk and Superman and all these people and Magneto and all these people roaming around, what is the regular people going to do? We're going to just get under our beds and hide? Okay. I don't know. And what are we going to do like in these movies? Like in the movie Pacific Rim, when these giant creatures start rising. Are we going to make giant robots to fight the giant creatures? Is that what we're going to do? Okay. That seems kind of, I don't know. But I'm just letting you know the purpose of them preparing us. Now, maybe they have a secret plan on what they're going to do, but I don't know what their secret plan is, and I don't think they have a secret plan personally. But that's the reason they keep saying the world of the future is going to be totally different. Totally different. Okay. And it's going to be great, and it's going to be scary, and it's going to be a lot of things. But I can just say we're not going to be in Kansas anymore. That's the best thing I can say. That our days of being in Kansas is over. And it's great that you can go to the movie and eat your popcorn and watch the fighting scenes and go home. It's great that you can listen to this video, share it with your friends, and say, "Hey, I want you to hear about this crazy guy on the you got this podcast. He talks so crazy. You got to hear this." And y'all could drink a beer and and have fun and laugh and giggle. What you gonna do 20 years from now when you're not laughing and giggling anymore?